So every election year is kind of seen as the biggest election in history, and it kind of becomes cliche. But for North Carolina, that's really been true. 2010 was an unprecedented midterm election where you saw Republicans win majorities for the first time in a century, essentially. And then 2012 was a presidential year. North Carolina was a swing state, newly minted swing state after 2008. So another record-breaking year. And then 2014, you saw this huge U.S. Senate race, the most expensive in history, all the outside money coming in, and also, which a lot of was under the radar for a lot of people, the most expensive state legislative races in state history. So prior to 2014, there had been one state legislative race in North Carolina history that cost more than $1 million. One race in history of the state. In 2014, there were 13 races that cost over $1 million. So the spending was just astronomically higher than it had ever been before. I think 2016 we're looking at another record-breaking year for the simple reason that North Carolina is really hitting the trifecta this year, where you have a competitive Senate race, competitive governor's race, and a battleground state for the presidential. So we're likely to have the most competitive and expensive governor's race in the country. Not many states have gubernatorial races this year, but North Carolina is the biggest state with a race, and it's also competitive. So that's likely to be a record breaker. The Senate race, while it doesn't appear to be competitive yet, I think it will tighten and it will be competitive. So I expect that to be expensive also. And then North Carolina is really a must-win state for Republicans to win the presidency. For Democrats, it's a state to go on offense. They don't have to have it to win, but I think they will obviously contest it, and they'll have enough money to contest it. So, and then you got the state legislative races again. So I think this will be another record-breaking year where you will see millions of dollars from independent expenditure groups, and some in-state groups like the chamber has, and some out-of-state groups trying to impact any number of races from the presidency on down to state house.